Hey guys, and welcome to this special edition bonus episode. A little different format, but we are going to discuss the ending of Mandy. And we'll probably call this Mandy Ending Explained.
Christopher!
Yes.
What is the synopsis for Mandy?
The enchanted lives of a couple in a secluded forest are brutally shattered by a nightmarish hippie cult and their demon biker henchmen, propelling a man into a spiraling, surreal rampage of vengeance. The basically second half of the movie is Nicolas Cage getting his revenge. Much like a Mega Man game, he's just going one after another, going after each boss, and just
actually
of all the games.
It's great.
Well, the game has that format where you're just going one guy after
It's
another.
perfect.
Just,
I like that a lot.
you got Bone Guy and Chainsaw Guy, and it's Mega Man.
Cut Man. Wood Man.
Boner Man.
The least favorite man.
Tax Man.
Oh no.
Mailman.
Postage stamps. Nicolas Cage gets his revenge, and he kind of more or less drives away into the sunset. And he's driving away, and the camera pans up, and you see two planets. So basically, we're just kind of theorize what that all means. So my question for you guys is how, both the ending and the movie in general, how literal do you think it is? Like, do you think this is a fantasy movie, or did all of this actually happen?
So it all happened, but I think it all comes down to one key moment where he gets out of that. He was kidnapped, or he was tied up, and he goes into the kitchen.
Yep.
To grab his thing.
I know where you're going.
And he opens that jar of some sort of goo.
Yeah.
And he licks it, and then like all this fucking shit happens.
Yes, exactly.
And essentially, you can tell that he's tripping because he sees all that shit, but then also everyone's voices are altered.
Yes.
Which they kind of do earlier in the movie. You know, when someone's on drugs of some sort, everything gets altered, whether it be how the camera looks or how their voices sound.
Yeah.
So I really think I probably have the simplest answer to where I think he's just still tripping.
Yeah.
And he's not on another planet or anything like that. Just, I mean.
I think they're all tripping. Like, especially the cult at the beginning. I think they're all, even if they haven't, I think, because they kind of explain that the chemist that makes LSD makes very like strong, like crazy concoctions. So I feel that like, even though they've had it, they're still continuing a trip.
Yeah.
And it's never going to end for them. That's what I think has happened.
Earlier in the movie, Bill Duke's character, when he's basically describing how the crazy bikers came to be, he basically said like they took a bad trip and haven't been the same since.
Yeah.
So it's basically like once you do that crazy shit once, you don't need to do it again. Yeah, you're still crazy. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at personally. Whereas I feel like, it's all just basically one giant drug trip. If anything, I feel like you could be like, well, that's, Nick Cage driving away from that is him kind of like escaping that crazy like fantasy land, and he's kind of coming back to reality. And then I forgot if we said it or not, but like the camera pans up and you see two planets.
Yeah.
Right.
Which earlier in the movie, Mandy says Jupiter's her favorite planet.
Yep.
And I think Nick Cage says Saturn is his.
Yeah.
So maybe you can kind of.
Doesn't he name some other place after? And she's like, that's not a planet.
I like Galactus.
Galactus isn't a planet.
So earlier in the movie, they talked about their favorite planets. So maybe that just, symbolism of them being together again.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah. And I don't think, I think Nick Cage is always going to be stuck in that LSD, just how they were. I think that's Nick Cage. That's just how his life is going to be.
Like, so like kind of the same like as the bikers.
Something like that. I mean, I don't think he's going to go insane, but I think like he's always going to be, I think he's going to be stuck on a trip. Something is going to be different now for him.
So could you could basically say that, yes, he is stuck on a planet, not literally, but like
in
he
his
is
mind.
like on a different plane of existence.
Exactly. That's what I feel. I feel that.
And he does have the biker vest or whatever. Because remember when he does escape after being kidnapped, he steals one of the bikers. Like, vest or armor or whatever the hell that is.
Right.
Yeah.
So like maybe he is basically just like another LSD biker now.
Yeah. Because they do a good job to kind of show you the people that aren't on drugs, like you said, the voices and everything, so that our ends Nick Cage does the LSD, and that's when, because he's the main focal point at that particular point, that's when everything is basically a different world. Everything's just different. What gets me though are the certain points when it's not in a different world, like when he headbutts Red Foreman, when he fights the chainsaw guy. Like,
True.
There's
the
almost like
that are
certain
like-
lucidity.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, 'cause
parts.
there are definitely some scenes where it's not kind of the interesting stylized lighting. It looks more natural.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good point.
So yeah, I'm wondering if it's more of like he needs to be so focused at this part, and then through closer he gets to Jeremiah, the more he gets like his brain goes deeper into the psychosis or the LSD trip or whatever. Because when he first
I
takes
feel
it,
like there's a video game that does it, but could it be something where like anytime at night is like when like the LSD kind of like re-triggers? Because when he headbutts, it's not actually Red Foreman, but
Hey,
like so that
dumbass.
seems during the day. But a lot of the other kills are at nighttime.
Yeah.
And that's when like the lighting kind of gets weird again. So it's like, I don't know if there's kind of like a day night. It's like, was it Silent Hill that did that? I don't know. I'm sure there's a few games that have done like
Right.
day night cycles, but
Yeah. I didn't think about that. That's a good point. Yeah. Part of me wishes it was fantasy. Like I wanted,
Nope.
that's fine.
so
I don't want what they took. I don't want it to be LSD. I want them to have taken something that this chemist made by accident, and now they're actually being drawn into an abyssal plane, and they can't escape it but they still have moments of lucidity when they are on Earth.
So I actually did think about that just because throughout the movie, Mandy is reading like fantasy books. And I know, Brian Brain, you like and enjoy fantasy books. So I was always curious, like, I wonder if like Brian Brain is getting like picking up certain references that like maybe me and you wouldn't.
Well, the whole thing when it comes to so when he leaves and you see that there's the different planets and there's different landscape, everything like that's that's not a fantasy trope, but it's almost like a sci-fi type trope, like mixed in with like a kind of fantasy thing where the you're in one part, but the deeper you get into it, then everything like changes, not only like mentally, but like your like physical realm changes too, type thing. So it could be like that. He's stuck now in this abyssal plane like that. You know,
It's not a great reference, but it almost reminds me of Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes, where Mark Wahlberg sees the Lincoln Monument, but it's an ape's head.
What?
So it's that. Oh God, have you not seen that? Oh boy, dude.
No, what? No.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg. Yeah.
What? No.
You know, the whole time you think you know where you are,
Yeah.
and at the very like last scene, it is actually the very last scene.
Yeah.
Where they throw something in there where you're like, oh wait, where are we? Are we on Earth? Are we not?
Well, it's the Charlton Heston too with the first original.
Though that's the opposite though, where you think you're on another planet.
yeah, but they're on the
actually
same.
It's been Earth all along.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
But Mandy is potentially the other way around.
potentially, yeah. So
The last theory I'll throw out
Yeah.
is what if when Nick Cage is all tied up and they burn Mandy, Nicolas Cage died there.
his last 5 seconds of
Yeah.
life is this
DMT trip.
Yeah.
That makes me sad.
Oh yeah, big time. The big time. Yeah.
Well, and then I almost wondered, like, how do we don't know that Mandy was in
The bag.
the bag.
Right.
Because, I mean, it shows her being kidnapped and put in that they bring her back to, don't they bring her back to like their lair or whatever?
No, they're all in their house, Nick Cage's house. They're
That's all in their house?
Yeah. It's all in the
So
house.
they brought that record with them?
Yes. Yeah. Dude, Jeremiah was proud of it. It was his accomplishment.
It's greater than the Carpenters.
Yeah.
God, it's like
isn't
someone
saying
like
much.
selling a shitty mixtape.
Yeah.
Like,
When I like that they did that, you know.
that he brought his own record.
Well, just that they had him be like this music type thing. It's like a Charles Manson.
Yeah.
Very similar to the way his.
I thought I read somewhere that he's really based off of Charles Manson in some way.
It
makes sense.
makes a lot of sense. Yeah, big time.
Because he really, I mean, Jeremiah didn't do any of the killing.
So aside from all the killing that Nicolas Cage does the cult only kill Mandy?
That's really it, I think. Yeah.
And even then we're like, who's in the bag?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I like that they didn't show Mandy in the bag because it leaves it open.
Right.
Yeah.
To a bunch of stuff. So that's why you
Yeah,
can
there's
have these
no
theories.
wristlet. You know, we don't know who was in that bag.
Yeah.
Or, you know, or grandma's ring.
Oh my, there's so many loose
are both,
ends.
but-
So many loose ends, man. This movie, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like overall we all kind of agree for the
Yeah.
most part
Right.
that, you know, it was most likely just all LSD.
Yes.
Well, that's our explanation of the ending of Mandy. And check out our review of Mandy if you haven't already. So until next time, good journey. Thanks for checking out this week's episode. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And most importantly, tell a friend.